Hello friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel Programming Knowledge. In this video, I will explain the logic and the Python code of concentric square pattern. So, what is concentric square pattern? Concentric square pattern is a rectangular pattern in a 2D matrix in such a way that they are concentric to each other. As we can see, the number of rows and columns are 2 times n-1. Let's consider this example. In this case, n is 4. So, the number of rows and columns will be 7. By this formula, there are several techniques to print this pattern. To solve this problem, I will first divide the whole pattern into different squares. In this case, I have divided the pattern in 4 different squares. First of all, we will print this outer square pattern, and after that we will see how we can print other square patterns and combine all of them to print this pattern. Now consider this whole square as a matrix. As shown in this picture, we can compare the position and its index values. When the I-index is 1 and the j-index is 1, then value will be 3. First of all, let's focus on the outer square. We divide this square by its 4 sides. When you compare this to horizontal line with its position, then you will find that the I-index is constant for each elements. For upper horizontal row I-index is 0, and for the lower one the I-index is 6, which is nothing but a size of the matrix -1, whereas the j-index is in increasing order starting from 0 to 6. To print upper horizontal row the I-index will be 0, and for lower horizontal row the I-index will be size -1. Now, compare this to vertical line with its position. Here j-index is same for each elements in the columns. For upper vertical column j-index is 0, and for the lower one the j-index is 6, which is nothing but a size of the matrix -1. Whereas, I-index is in increasing order starting from 0 to 6. Now to print upper vertical column the j-index will be 0, and for lower vertical column j-index will be size -1. Now, let's print the outer square. First of all I will find the size of the matrix by this formula, and after that I will create a 2D matrix of that size, where all elements are 0. So, I will take the value of n from the user and convert it into the integer. After that I will assign the value and a variable value. The size of the matrix will be n times 2 minus 1, as we have seen before. Now, I will create a 2D array by this line. Now, let's print this matrix. I will take 2 loops, one outer loop for rows and the inner one for columns. Let's check our 2D matrix. Okay. Now we will implement our logic for the outer square. First of all I will take a loop, which iterates from 0 to size 1. Now, we will assign values to this 2 horizontal lines. For upper horizontal line, when the value of j is 0 then value of 4 will be stored at a of 0, 0 position. When the value of j is 1 then value of 4 will be stored at a of 0, 1 and so on. So, to print this upper horizontal row, we will store the value of 4 in array a of 0, j. Let's print this and check that our code is working or not for this upper row. Okay, so it's properly working. Now, it's time for bottom horizontal line. As we have seen earlier we have to only change the I-index. Instead of 0, the index will be size -1. So, a of size -1, j equals to value. Let's print this and check that our code is working or not. It's properly working. Okay, now it's time for 2 vertical lines. For left vertical column, j-index is constant which is 0, and I-index is in increasing order. So, a of j, 0 equals to value. Let's run it. Now, we are only one step far from our goal. For right vertical line j index is size -1. So, a of j comma size -1 equals to value, and let's run it. By this code, we got the outer concentric square. We can do the same work for 3 inner squares. For that I will take one loop, which iterates for n times. In this case n is 4. So, by this loop we will produce this 4 squares. So, the outer loop will be, for I in range of n. Also, every time the value will be decreased by 1, so, value minus and equals to 1. Now, for this 3 times 3 matrix, the size of row and column is 5. As you can see, the starting point is increased by 1 index number and the ending point is decreased by 1 index number. So, we have to change the range function for our inner loop. Our loop will iterate form I to size -I. As for outer square, I will be 0. So, range function will iterate the loop from 0 to 7, where 0 is inclusive and 7 is exclusive. In next iteration, I will be 1. Range function will iterate the loop from 1 to 6, where 1 is inclusive and 6 is exclusive. And so on. In our inner loop, size will be replaced with I comma size -I. Before changing the indexes, let's check how these 2 loops will work. When the I is 0 and j is 0, then this 4 lines of code will assign values to these positions. When the value of j will be 1, then it will assign value to these positions. And so on. After the first iteration of the outer loop, our outer square with value 4 will be ready. When the value of I is 1, then it will check for the inner square with value 3. For indexes, we have to just add I at I index for the upper horizontal row. So, in the first loop I will be 0, so it will assign value in this row. In the second loop I will be 1, so it will assign the value variable in the array in this row, and so on. For lower horizontal line we have to do minus operation with I value at I index. In both cases, we don't have to change the j index. For vertical lines, I index will be the same. Same as horizontal lines, we have to add I in the j index for the left horizontal line, and for right we have to do minus operation. And our code is ready. Let's run it. Okay, so we get our output. I hope you got the logic and the program. If you have any other doubts, then feel free to ask in comment section. Also, there are lots of other techniques to print this pattern. If you want other methods to print this pattern, then comment below. I will make second part of this video. And don't forget to like this video. Also, share this video with your friends. If you are new to this channel, then hit the subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell icon. We will meet in the next video. Until then, enjoy programming.